Hello creative friends, and hello from Puppy as well. Hey, say hello Puppy. He's always around. He's like a shadow, so he's always around. If you hear a little bell in the background in my videos, then he's to blame. So say hello before I put you back in bed. He's been shaved lately, so doesn't have much hair. Poor thing, he's a little bit embarrassed, I think. But it's getting warm here in Sydney, so it was kind of necessary. But anyway, so I've decided to do a few little videos with just more little pieces of advice rather than a full-on tutorial each time, because I get a lot of questions, about what to do to start and what to do when you feel stuck, which paints I use, which product to use in a certain state of your painting and that sort of thing. So I thought it'd be fun just to do little videos of that kind of thing. So I'm going to do a series and over the next few months, and then just keep an eye on your inbox so you'll be able to watch them one by one. So the first one I'm going to do is about starting, just plain starting. I know it can get a little bit difficult. You want to paint, you want to be creative, and you just run to your studio, to your little art table or corner, and you just look at your blank page and go like, what to do? I've watched so many YouTube videos, and I don't know, they inspired me, and they seem so easy and, so flowing when the artist does it, but I'm just feeling stuck. Well, it happens to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out with your brand new painting or if you've been painting for 25 years, it's the same for everyone, except that it gets better with experience and with time in general. So I'm going to show you the simple way that I start all of my paintings, and it's also a very simple way to just loosen up and just get into it. And that's the key, is to get into it. So all we're going to do is just paint a background with some colors, and that's it. And just doing that usually unlocks the rest, the inspiration flows, ideas starts coming in. And if they don't, it's okay. Just do your little background and just leave it alone for another time where you feel more inspired, or if you have more time, or that sort of thing, or you're not distracted, because that's usually one of the issues. We've got something on our mind and we can't really get into it and focus on our art. So I'll show you what I do, and it's very simple. Anyone can do it. You can use your fingers or your brush, and you can paint on anything. I'm just going to use my trusty little Moleskine art journal here that you've seen in many of my videos already. And I'm just going to switch the camera over to my table, and then we'll just get started. All right, here we go. So it's going to be very simple, as I said. First, we're going to pick some colors. So if you don't really know even which colors to choose to start with, then just pick the one that you like the best. What is your favorite, absolute favorite color? For me, it's always turquoise. I've got this really strange attraction to it. I can't really explain where it comes from. So I'm going to start with some turquoise. I'm going to put some on my palette here. I'm just going to put a little blob. And you're welcome to either put some on your palette. Your palette could be anything, by the way. It could be just a paper plate, a disposable palette, a porcelain dish, anything. Or do without, just put it straight onto your finger like I very often do. So I'm going to start with my favorite color, which is going to be turquoise. And then I'm going to pick two other colors that I know will go well with turquoise. If you're not sure, then just pick a similar color. So for instance, I could just go with a green or a lighter blue or a purple. I know that these colors go well together. Or just go with something that contrasts completely. I know that yellow goes well with blue because it creates green. So I'm going to grab some yellow and add a little blob right next to it. I'm not going to need much at all because my surface here to cover is very small. And it's always easier to add a little bit at a time, obviously. And you can add more if needed. And then the best color that goes with everything, you can't go wrong, is of course white. So I'm going to add a little bit of white as well on my palette. And I just splattered a little bit everywhere, which is always fun, you know. That's the joy of painting. It goes everywhere sometimes. So what you want to do is always have a baby wipe nearby, just to clean your surface if needed, and your fingers as well. So next thing to do, oh, I've even put some yellow right here, so I'm just going to clean that up right now so I don't have to try to peel off some dried paint later on. So what I'm going to do, like I said, you can use a brush if you like, but I just recommend going with your fingers because it's so easy that way. I'm going to start with the darkest color and adding a little bit of blue on my finger, and I'm just going to rub it and use my second finger here to spread it even further. So I'm just going to do this until my finger is pretty much dry and I've got no paint left. It looks like I've got some, but it's dry. And then I keep going back. And I'm adding some into a different corner of my journal here. And again, I can even use all 3 fingers just to go a little bit faster. And it doesn't matter if it looks really messy like it is now, because all you want to do is just add color to your surface. It doesn't matter what it looks like. That's not the point of it. We just want to get into it and loosen up. And this is what I do when I want to start a painting and I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with it yet. So I'm just adding some colors. And I'm leaving some little, obviously some white spaces so I can add more of my other colors here. I'm going to rub my fingers on a old towel so I can get rid of most of the paint here. And I'm going to go into my yellow and do the same thing, but in those spots that I have not filled with turquoise yet. So I'm just going to spread that up. Again, each time until my finger pretty much feels like there's no paint left on it. And you know, when I do this, I just stop thinking. Nothing else matters. Business, work, doesn't matter. Any issue you have with your family maybe, or children, or at the office, everything just gets left behind. This is your me time and nothing else should interrupt it. So make sure that if you have family members around or children, make sure you tell them that this is your time and that you need a break, and that they can, you know, give you a little bit of space, not for long, just a little while, to release your pent-up energy and frustration maybe. And just keep going until most of your surface is filled with your 2 colors. And you don't need to, you know, have like 4 or 5 colors to do this. Just get a couple for now, either complementary or contrasting, and some white as well. So most of it is filled in now. And it looks nice and messy. That's the way I like it. My fingers are pretty much dry. So I'm going to go straight into the white and do exactly the same. I'm going to start with the areas where I still can see my surface, and I'm just going to spread it. But I'm not going to put as much paint this time because I don't want the entire surface to be covered in white. But I'm just going to spread it a little bit and make more patches. And if you know of my book or the e-course, you will know that the first chapter, which is called Loosen Up and Let Go, pretty much starts in this exact same way. I show you how to start your painting basically. So just so you know that it is something that I really do all the time. So I'm just spreading it a little bit more here. And at this stage, my pages, they feel a little bit humid, but not much. Quite often it's almost touch dry because I'm not putting a lot of paint on there. And I'm spreading it until it's pretty much dry. So you're not going to risk into you know, blending the colors too much by doing it this way. And if you've added too much paint, that's fine. Just get a hairdryer or a heat gun and dry it off and then keep going. So I'm not really, you know, thinking, I'm not doing a particular pattern or anything like that. I'm just concerned with filling my surface and nothing else. And as I mentioned, you can of course do it with a brush, but it feels more intuitive to do it with your fingers, because you're connecting your mind and body at the same time, and your feelings, and you just get into painting a lot more deeply that way, I feel anyway. So you can see it's still messy, but that's okay. We like it messy. Messy's good. We love all that messy goodness. Okay, I've pretty much filled my surface. I'm going to wipe my fingers. Then I'm going to take my hairdryer and then move this paint away from the hairdryer so it doesn't dry too quickly. I'm going to take my hairdryer and just give this first layer a good dry. Okay, my 2 pages are dry. It didn't take long at all because I've only applied the paint in thin layers, so it dried very quickly. At this stage, you could just leave it like that if you only have 5 minutes to play with art, or you can keep going. So if you wanted to add a bit more and make it a little bit smoother, then we can do the same thing we did earlier. So we're going back with blue and just doing more patches. You don't need to go over the exact same areas as before. Like, I don't have to put the turquoise over the turquoise patches. You can go in other places as well. It's fine. Maybe you've added too much yellow and you want to cover some of that. Or you want to intensify the turquoise, so you can go over the previous patches. It's really up to you. And you don't have to do one color at a time. You can go straight into the white if you like. Spread more of that into the one you just applied so they blend in even more together. Look at these gorgeous blues. Amazing. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna add a bit more yellow to my palette because I haven't got much left. I don't like wasting paint, so I try to only add a little blob at a time if I can. And then I'm going to dip my finger in the white and the yellow at the same time, just to create a lighter color. Because I've got a bit of blue left on my fingers, it's creating a nice green too, so bonus points, bonus points. And I can add a bit of white directly to the turquoise on my palette as well and create a lighter blue here. Add more white. In some areas, you know, the paint will be thinner than others, and that's fine. Where it is a little thinner, you'll see the colors from your previous layer show through a little bit more. I'm going a bit more crazy now and spreading even more that mixture of yellow and blue. I can add a bit of white. And you can keep doing this until you feel better, and maybe by now you're starting to have some ideas of what you could do next, or maybe you still have no idea, and that's completely fine. Just play with the paint and just focus on that and nothing else. The aim when you get to your art journal or canvas or anything you would like painting on is not always to go to create a finished piece. You just have to think that you're doing it and enjoying it for the process as well, not necessarily for the results. That's why I always, you know, say just do this and don't think about the end. We're just having fun. And that's all there is to it. People take themselves too seriously sometimes and feel like they have to create a masterpiece. Well, not so. Unless you're planning to exhibit your art in a museum or a big fancy gallery, maybe one day. Not today though. Okay, I've got a bit more yellow. I'm going to spread it here. And maybe a bit there. See, I'm still staying quite messy, but you know, the colors are blending in a bit more together by themselves. If you're feeling that you've had enough of this layer, then you could just stop and dry it off and keep going, do another layer. It's really up to you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Okay, I'm running out of paint now, and that's a good thing because that's all I'm going to do. So, messy fingers, at least on one hand, that's always a good sign. So this is all I do when I want to start a painting or just take 5 minutes to play with paint and take a break from whatever is bothering me. So I highly recommend that you just give it a try. It doesn't have to be with those colors, obviously. Just pick the ones that you like, or if you have a vague idea of what you would like to do with your pages, for instance, then pick colors that you think will look good on your end result. But just remember, the end result does not matter at this stage. And this is a really great way just to get something started. So now we've got some kind of a background and we can decide where we want to go with it further. If we want to go with it further, sorry, I can't speak, but you know me by now. I mumbled and jumbled. Now, that's all there is to it. So just give it a try and just make sure you don't stay in your head. Just play with it. Don't think and don't take things too seriously. That's the main thing. Remember, it's an art journal. You're just having fun with it, and there's no specific goal but to experiment and have fun. So let this dry. And then if you're ready to keep going, then keep going. If you're still not sure what to do, but you feel like painting some more, then just turn your page over and do exactly the same thing with different colors. And then when you're ready, you can come back to it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.